Greetings all, and welcome back to Globbits gaming channel. Hellcat. I've had this tank for a while, not that long. My service record isn't exactly fantastic on it. I sort of got it and sold it because I didn't like it back when I was a little bit more newish to the game. But I have bought it back again for the simple reason I've seen it used by some other people and it's an absolute beast of a tank, and you know, it's a really good little tank destroyer. It's a tier 6 turreted American tank destroyer. Now the Americans have two tank destroyer lines that you can go down. It's quite strange because there's two lines, one's without turret and one's with turret, but the one without turret also starts with tanks with turrets as well. Basically, you go from the T18, T82, T40. If you go T40, you go down the non-turreted route that leads you down the 2580, T28, T95, Combat Slug, around the T110E3. If you go down the turreted tank destroyer line, it leads you to the T110E4. Now, one of the biggest things about these American tank destroyers is their flexibility. The fact that you've got a turret, and it makes them infinitely more flexible. Don't for a second, however, think this thing is a main battle tank. It really isn't. It's got 570 hit points, which isn't too bad. It can take a shot in the face from a KV-1S, but if it does, it's going to be pretty much decimated. It only weighs 20 tons, and it's got a 460 horsepower engine, which means it can do 72 kph. Downhill, this thing will reach 80 plus kph. It is a very quick tank. Reasonably good to first speed. It's quite manoeuvrable. The turret traverse, however, is 16 degrees a second, and this is one thing you'll have to get used to with this particular vehicle. You have to pre-turn the turret if you're going to go around a corner, for example. Tracking people using your turret can be quite difficult at close ranges, but this thing is not a brawling tank at all because it's only got 13mm of frontal for any sort of hull armour. All the way around, it's 13mm. Now there are some cars out there that have more armor than this tank in the body. This thing gets absolutely wrecked by artillery and high explosive shells. Tip from the top: if you're shooting one of these things, fire high explosive at its hull. You will absolutely wreck it. Just for example, the damage from if a KV-1S decides to load HE against you, and he shoots you with his main gun, 465 average damage. Yeah, you do have a potential of being one-shotted by a KV-1S if it fires HE at you. And it'll just decimate you. Artillery love shooting this thing because it's open-topped. Okay, it has not got a roof. If artillery hit this thing, they just shred them. Turret armor's not too bad. 76mm at the front, 31 at the sides, 44 at the rear, which isn't great, but it's not bad. The gun manlet on the Hellcat can be quite troll at times. If you're just shooting at this bit here, the gun mantlet, high chance you'll bounce. It's very well rounded, and it's very thick. But if you're driving a Hellcat, you are not relying on the armour in any way, shape or form. I'll come to the gun in a minute. View range is pretty good, and signal range is pretty good. Now the gun, you get a 90mm AT gun M3, which fires 7.5 rounds a minute, which is a reasonably fast fire. If you have your basic 100% crew, gun rammer and all that kind of good stuff, you can fire around every 6.9 seconds. If you upgrade it with brothers in arms and food, it's even better than that. I mean, I think you can get it down to about 6.5 rounds a minute, which is pretty good. It's got 160mm penetration with your average bog standard ammo. It's tier 6, that's not bad. With your APCR premium ammo, you're getting 243. Alright, so that's not bad either. That'll do you through most tier 10, tier 6 tank company games, for example, if you're going down that route. And high explosives, 45mm. 240 average damage. That's not too shabby at all. Me personally, that's the kind of stats that KV-1S should be shooting at, but watch this space at that. You know, KV-1S is eventually going to lose its 122mm gun, and quite rightly too. It's very accurate, 0.35 accuracy, and the aiming time is 1.7 seconds. It aims ridiculously fast. It's a very good tank destroyer gun. Very good tank destroyer gun. People are using these more and more in tank company games because of the mobility side of things. My basic setup of consumables: carry 25 rounds of normal ammo, 4 rounds of the premium, and 1 HE round just in case I have to reset a cap. My equipment fit is rammer, enhanced gun lane drive, and binos. Now, the enhanced gun lane drive, it really doesn't need it with a 1.2 aiming time, but the thing is, I kind of got this tank and I had a spare one. For me, probably the better thing for it would probably be a cam net, because it is a tank destroyer. You do end up hiding in bushes, but then again, aiming time's alright. I mean, if you play it properly, you shouldn't need a cam net as such, and it's quite a mobile tank destroyer anyway. But anyway, crew skills, I've gone for recon on my commander to increase the view range, snapshot with the gunner to improve accuracy during turret rotation, clutch braking to make it turn faster, and camouflage with the two loaders. Camouflage with the radio op, and then camouflage with the loader. As soon as the loader gets 100%, he will have safe stowage. The commander will have sixth sense. The gunner will probably stick with snapshot, and then the driver's going to go on to some of the other skills. So that's basically the tank in a nutshell. How I use this tank: mobile sniper, relocation, take your shot, disappear, relocate, ready up, shoot again, etc, etc, etc. You cannot brawl with this vehicle. If you brawl with this tank, they're going to circle you and basically rip you to pieces. A Panzer 1C can take these out, you know, and that thing's got a machine gun. They get absolutely shredded. If you get caught up, it's got very good gun depression, so you can use it for hull down situations. And to be honest with you, the only thing you should be showing is your turret. Make sure when you're in a position that you've got something to hide behind, like a rock or something. Once you've fired, you expose yourself to the enemy team. Get behind that rock and you stay there until you've disappeared. Basically. Anyway, let's have a look at the games then. Right then, the first game is myself. It's my game. For the keen-eyed ones amongst you, you'll notice my clan has changed. I have changed clans. I've moved from BTTF, which was Methalantheus' clan, for the simple reason, no other reason than they don't do anything. They just sit in a clan and they do no tank companies, they don't do any platoons as such, they don't do any organised play. So I moved from those and I've joined AHI, which stands for Aces High. I've only been with them a couple of days, and they do tank companies and clan wars, so stand by for some games, some clan war games. If I get a chance to get actually into any, I've got to pimp out one of my tanks ready for clan wars. So, that aside, Globbs has changed clans, and what I'm going to do on this particular game is I always, on an encounter battle, we're on an encounter battle on Redshire, I always nip up to this hill up here, because 9 times out of 10 you have enemies sneaking along the one line trying to come around and flank us. Now with my binos and my extra view range up here, it means that I've got shots on them. I'm just going to adjust the volume slightly, excuse me. Put it up to around about 23, make it a little bit louder. There we go. Shouldn't keep doing that in game really on the replay. Looks very unprofessional, Globbs. Now what I'm doing here is I'm what I call nesting. I'm knocking the trees down to give myself bush cover, building myself a little nest, and basically all I do is to sit here for a little while and just wait and see what develops. Yeah, there's a Hellcat on the hill. Have a bit of a look at him, see if I can see, go up and see if I can shoot him. Somebody takes a chunk out of him. That Hellcat has stayed there far too long. And I'm just going to have a bit of a look, see if he turns up again, which he doesn't. Now, I've got support in A1 and A2, a 3001D and a Cromwell. So I spot a Hellcat. I don't know if I spotted him or they did, but either way, we've noticed there's one there. And I'm exposed, but I know that unless he actually peeks out, he's not going to see me, and he's going to get handled anyway. There's that Hellcat again. I move around the corner, I get a shot on him, and I donk it. I shoot his tracks off. He puts his repair kit up, and unfortunately I don't reload in time. Now I will have been spotted at this point, so the entire enemy team knows where I am. I've got a rock to my left, so the only danger is coming from the right hand side, so I traverse the turret and have a look that way. And wait and see what happens. Now, a little bit of luck rides with me here. Nobody actually does anything about me, which is a good thing, because this thing, like I said, I don't know. Now, this Hellcat in A1. I've got view range on him. There we go. Look at the accuracy. Boom. And the aiming time, 6-second reload. Should be easy to get another shot into him. Straight into the hole. Yeah, average of 240 damage on this gun, so that's not a bad shot actually. It's about an average sort of roll, slightly below average. and the V3001D should easily be able to take him out, and they do. Now I won't have been spotted from that shots because there's nothing that can actually see me. That Hellcat will not have been able to see me at that. It was at my absolute maximum of my view range. So I know I'm safe to move around this rock in case that Hellcat turns up again. And these two clowns, the Hetzer and the BDR GB1, basically B1G, whatever he's fucking called, that French piece of shit, basically do nothing at this whole game. I noticed the KV1. Now I don't know where that KV1's going. The cap circle is in the south-east. He's heading up to number 1. I don't know if he thinks that's the cap circle, but to be honest with you, the KV1, if you look at his stats, he's not the greatest player in the world. So I get behind him. He's got the derp gun. He's got the howitzer on that tank. It's a 122mm howitzer, and this is not the kind of tank you want to be getting shot at with a howitzer. So I back off in light of him pointing his turret towards me. And no, he's turned it the other way. I bounce off the KV1's turret, but they're notoriously troll turrets anyway. I can't really get a shot on him. And the Bishop takes him out. The Bishop's not doing too bad actually. The Bishop's got 2 kills. The Bishop's doing really well. Just take a blind shot of the Hetzer there just in case. I couldn't actually see him very well, but you never know. You need to be careful with this thing not to waste your ammunition as well, because you've only got 30 rounds of ammo. You can't be blazing away, because you never know, you might need it later on. Now I spot KV1S, and he's moving. I think he's going to move to where the Hetzer is. I just have a bit of a look-see, and I'm going to meet him halfway, because I think he's going to cross the open field, and if he does, yep, there he is. See you later, pal. You are so strong.
Enemy vehicle destroyed.
Led the shot perfectly, if I do say so myself. You know, you just can't teach this stuff. Oh, Hellcat!
Enemy armor is destroyed.
See you later, pal. Yeah, straight back into cover and stay there. Now with a 6-second reload, basically if you count to 3 after the reload's finished, you need to wait for a good old 10 seconds to drop off the radar before you start moving out again. There you go, artillery spotted me, knows where I am. So that M41's got a hard on for me. So, reposition, relocate, use that speed, use the hills. Yep, I know there's a Churchill 1 down there. So I'm going to try and get a bit of a spot on him. Now, proximity spotting, if you're within 50 metres, even if you can see them. Even if you can't see them, you'll spot them. But what that means is I've been spotted as well. But I'm reasonably safe. The only thing that can hit me is artillery. So I need to keep moving. There's artillery. Yeah, keep moving, relocate, so they're not sure where I'm going. And there's a nice big rock there. Hellcats like rocks. Rocks stop bullets. Oh, and there's the dog. Woofing away in the background. Yeah. And let's see if I can spot artillery. Let's see if he moves or does something stupid. As soon as I get within 5 metres of the edge of this bush here, I should spot artillery straight away if he's in the open. Knocking trees down is a very clever idea. Oh, there he is. There's artillery. You're mine, son. 230 health. See ya! Yeah, that's 3 kills and 1300 damage. Not a shabby effort so far. Now, I know that Churchill's there. He's on a little bit more health than that, but I should be able to take a nice big chunk out of him. Now, this is where I make a bit of a mistake. I go out after the kill. I'm not quite reloaded yet, and he tracks me. I stick out in the open far too frickin' long. Taking 2 shots, and my gun's screwed. That was my one and only really mistake in this game, and that Churchill gun carrier has damaged my gun. This is a tank destroyer. They don't do too well with damaged guns. And I used my repair kit on my tracks because if I didn't, I'd be dead. I stayed out far too long. I should have just took that shot on the Churchill and then just reversed straight back behind that rock again, waiting to come off the radar, because that VK just sat there. But hey ho, you know, you can't be perfect all the time, can you? But anyway, trying to do a bit of a reposition, see what we can see. Oh, there's an SU-100. Can't see him just yet. I don't really want to go tear-arsing down the hill. He's just taking out the Bishop. Don't want to go tear-arsing down the hill just yet, but if I can see his arse end. Oh, here we go. RNG. No, not going to get to take the shot. Unfortunately, he gets killed. So push up to the edge of this spur here. There's a T150 up down in K7 that was spotted. I don't really want to stick my head out there because that's where I think the Churchill gun carrier is. And the Hellcat on their team is in K0. And this is one of the useful things about XVM. It tells you where the tanks were. I'm just going to get the binos up. I'm just going to use the view range. Just have a bit of a look. Be patient. I'm literally, if they literally look at me with a serious intent, I'm going to die. And there goes the Hellcat. Now he is advancing into a whole world of pain. He's got so much stuff looking at him. He just gets absolutely annihilated. But he needed to do something. Right, T150. A tough tank. Now I should have aimed this shot a little better, but bear in mind I've got a damaged gun. Bounced off him. And I don't know how I'm still alive. I've no idea to this day how that T50 did not absolutely annihilate me just then. But hey ho. You know, you can't have it all roads. So I don't really want to get into a fight with him, so I'm just backing off, just repositioning, and here comes Mr. BDR, G1B. Been AFK the whole frickin' game, but he distracts the T150 to not shoot the Globbs, so he did serve a purpose. And the Churchill gun carrier. Oh, this is a bit of a long shot. Check this out. 390 meters with a damaged gun. Yep, so that's 5 kills, 2,000 damage. So, post-game stats on that one then. Safe to say, not my greatest game I've ever had on the Hellcat. I'll be honest with you. I have had some better ones than that, but since the reason for doing this little bit of a review is actually the next game. A chappie sent me in a replay, and oh my Christ. Anyway, so, not the greatest game in the world. Only earned me 33,000 credits and 1,500 experience. You know, not fantastic, but did get me 5 kills and 2,000 damage. I didn't finish top. It has to go out to Sotfear 027. Okay, I finished second. Basically, 5 kills with 2,000 damage is basically kill stealing or kill securing, as I like to call it. But top 3 in the team, in fact the top 5 tanks on both sides were all Hellcats. It just goes to show you how potent these machines are. They can be really, really good when driven correctly. If you get shot back though, oh, you're in trouble. Like I said, potential damage received 655. I did bounce 1 shell, I think. I can't remember. Did I bounce something? Yeah, I bounced 1 shot. Probably hit my gun mantlet. It should have killed me. I should technically have been dead. But unfortunately, I think the Churchill gun carrier bounced one off my gun mantlet. But he was shooting in extreme range. So anyway, enough of that shenanigans. It wasn't a fantastic game. Let's get on to the really good. Right then, this is the game that basically made me decide to do this little bit of a review. This is Danstar, or Danstar. It's the first time he sent a replay into me, and it's an absolute corker. So I decided, you know what, fair crack of the whip, let's give it a look. Alright, so, it's a standard battle on Muravanka, and look at chat. I don't know if that Holland guy is trolling us, but that is a pretty funny comment to come from an ELC driver. He's like, oh my god, this tank doesn't have a rotating turret. The fuck? Now, they basically have a laugh at him in chat and all this kind of stuff. Just keep watching chat, because chat's quite funny. Now, let's be honest guys, how many times has this happened to you? Danstar and the other Hellcat use their speed, okay, to go and basically cover what I call the forest of fail. The forest on the right hand side of the map. They get their asses into gear and they go over there as quick as they possibly can to try and negate any kind of push that comes. Now, notice the map. They're on their own. There's a T1 heavy coming, but they're pretty much on their own. How many times has this happened to you? It really grips my shit when this happens. The rest of the team is just basically milling along the western edge of the map. Let's go over here. This looks really good. Oh, and we see a Hellcat, so we all stop and shoot him. Now the ELC AMX, the friendly ELC AMX, yeah, dies quite quickly. Now keep looking at chat. This is hilarious. This is one of the highlights of the game for me. Just keep looking at the chat. This is funny. Basically, somebody just oh ELC. Hello. Now, all 3 of these tanks will now have been spotted as soon as they shoot. They've all fired at him. Danstar does exactly what he should do. Okay, he reverses. He gets the hell out of there, because the T1 Heavy and that Hellcat start taking fire. Because there's lots of tanks in the forest to fail. Downster does exactly the right thing. Proto 77 nails our Hellcat. Yeah, that was 300 odd damage. A grill or any kind of artillery chat lot. Run, he said. Hit and run, not die. Anyway, so our artillery absolutely shreds these vehicles. If you're an artillery player and you get a choice to shoot the Hellcat or any other tank, shoot the Hellcat. Simple reason is you will get max damage most of the time, or if all else fails, as near to high damage as full damage as you're going to get. So he backs off, waits to drop off the radar, and then a friendly KV-1S appears. Start working him down. No problem penetrating a KV-1S with 140mm penetration. He's using hull down, and he's just basically doing a number on this KV-1S. The Covenanter's shooting HE at him. Covenanter really doesn't stand a chance. So we're just going to work him over, keep popping back, keep off his radar. He pretty much did nearly all the damage to that KV-1S there. Pretty much all the damage. And back off. Rearm, reload, reset, drop off the enemy radar, drop out of artillery's reticle. Once you've dropped off, come back and have another look. Yeah, see what we can see. T1 Heavy doesn't understand. And an AT2 appears. Now, this had me biting my keyboard for quite a while during this game. Danster at times, I don't know why, but he just seems to stop. A lot of the time it's to stop and type. And it costs him later on in the game. Now basically that AT2 is using the derp gun. He's not using the 6-pounder or the 2-pounder, whatever gun it is. I can't remember which one it is. He's using the derp gun. Now to us that is a problem. A derp gun is a lot more dangerous to a Hellcat than a fast-firing, low damage gun. That derp gun, as we're going to see now, takes a chunk out of us. 140 damage. Gets a lucky penetrating shot, and here comes artillery. Ignore him, he's obviously a noob. So let's take out the dangerous target, the AT. Once we've reloaded, we can take out artillery. Arty, what are you doing? You're doing it wrong, bro. And he starts getting shot in the arse from people that are camping in the woods. I think that was either the Marder 38 that was in the forest. I'm not sure. Now he stops. I think he's typing. Yeah, he's typing again. Focus, bro. You're on 5 kills. Right, we're 6-all. Well, it's about to be 6-all. Yeah, it's 6-5 at the moment. You've done 5 of our kills. You know, you're doing really well. You're on half health. 6-6. So, he decides, he thinks he's dealt with all the threats coming from the forest. So he's going to move over to help this stream of people that are just basically marching onto the enemy guns in twos and getting themselves absolutely annihilated. So he decides he needs to go over this side of the map, and he leaves behind a Nashorn. Not a very nice tank to have behind you. However, he can't see him, so he carries on, uses his mobility, and he basically leaves the M4 Easy 2, the Jumbo, to die. But, you know what? Fair enough. I'm not going to comment on that. He does leave him to die, but then again, that E2 should have realised and maybe, you know, ran away as well. But unfortunately, the Marder 38T does him. Now, just pay attention to artillery. Sat out in the open, SU-5. And they start pinging the map. Pay attention. Pay attention to section 8H. Well, that's fair enough, bro. Ping the map all you want, you fucking cretin, but don't sit out in the open. Get yourself in the bushes. Why sit in the open? And you're obviously aware of the danger, but sit and do fucking nothing. But anyway, he takes a nice chunk out of the VK there. Yeah, supporting the guys on this side, trying to help them out as best he can. Using hull down tactic, only exposed enough to the turret. See if we can get over and get some shots in this KV-1. Still on 5 kills. And yet, the SU-5, you got it. He's still sat there, and he's pinging the map, saying where the danger's coming from. Hey. Anyway. And there's that VK. Now, he spots us. He evidently spotted us, and now he comes charging over. He sees a Hellcat on low health, and he comes charging over and gets shot in the face for his troubles. Hey, never interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake, right? Can we get some shots on this KV-1? We've got to be very careful of artillery. There's a very effective grill on their team. He doesn't look that good on paper, but yeah, and here we go, look, this is where the SU-5 gets absolutely annihilated by the Nashorn. Yeah, the tank that he was talking about gets him, and he stayed in the open. Never mind, we can sort this out. Our 88, I've just noticed, has the stock gun. We're taking fire from somewhere. Right, there's a VK-3002M behind us, who's just taken out our VK. So we need to be careful of him. So we need to be trying to hunt out this Nashorn, trying to get the Nashorn off the map as quickly as possible, because he's a very dangerous tank destroyer. Looking at the damage he did to the artillery though, I don't think he's got the top gun on. But even then, we have no armour. Oh, there he is. Fantastic. It's going to take us 2 shots, but we can deal with it. Oh, and a flak bus appears. M41 shoots the Nashorn and kills him. We take a nice chunk out of the flak bus. Wait to reload. Now, 3002M has just killed the 88. The 88's just died. Now this is where I started biting my keyboard. Danster, I'm not criticising you anyway, bro, but this is not a good fucking time to stop and start getting smart in chat. Now, watch this. Oh dear. And you're just sat there. My back's getting sore, says he. Now, what he means by that is that he believes he's carrying. And yes, he is. But he won't be for much longer. You are so lucky, my friend. You are so lucky. This could have been an absolutely disastrous couple of seconds for you. He gets his tracks back up, repairs his engine, and carries on. I was gnashing at my keyboard at that point. Little bit of battlefield awareness would have been pretty good, but never mind, I'm not criticising. You're doing better than I did, but still, let it be a lesson. And yet again, you've got active artillery, and you sit in the open, and you start talking about how we've lost. You haven't lost, mate, at all. You know, this is easily winnable. You've got 2 tank destroyers and artillery, and they've got to come to you. And oh dear. Hello, Mr. Marder.
Enemy vehicle destroyed.
Awesome shot. Set him on fire. You gotta love that German frontal setting on fire shenanigans. It's 2v2. Now the odds have changed. I'm just gonna speed it up now, because he does spend quite a little bit of time sat here. Speed it up a little bit quicker. Alright, so basically it's late game. And when it's actually late game, you've got to be really, really careful about what you do, because getting spotted at this point basically means death. If they spot you and the artillery's aiming in your area, you're screwed. So what he decides to do is to go north and try and find their artillery, which turns out not to be a bad idea. And he starts to plan with his M44, his friend here, what he's going to do. Now me, if I was at the Dickomax, I don't know what I'd be doing at this point. I'd probably be doing the same as what Downster's doing here. I'd be hunting our artillery. Because they know where our artillery is, and they know where Downster was last spotted if they've got XVM. Now, good thing is, he's telling him Artie to pre-aim, and he says he's going at 2:30. So they're actually having a bit of a plan on the go. This is a good thing. Good thing to use chat. You're in cover, you know, use chat when you're in cover. And he says, at 2:30 I'm going for it. Happy days. So he pops out at cover around about 2:30 where he said. See if he can get his spot on. And there's artillery. And that's a one shot. What do you do now though? The Dickomax is going to know where you are. So what do you do? Well, the Dickomax, it turns out, was already on his way to our cap circle. He thinks he's still in the forest to fail. I would probably be thinking the same thing too. So he keeps himself nice and wide, even though the Dickomax will be able to see you, and it turns out he's capping. Why, oh why would you cap in this particular situation? What you've got to remember though, is that the Dickomax ain't that great. Yeah, he's 46% win ratio, less than 500 efficiency. Yeah, and he's only got 1,000 games. He's probably bought that tank. Unfortunately, he's very rookie player. He's a rookie player, so therefore he's gone and tried capping, which sits right into Danster's hands, because Danster can now appear from absolutely anywhere and get the drop on the Dickomax, because he's going to need it, because Dickomax got 400 health. He needs to get the drop on him, take his shot, get back, relocate and shoot again. So he just basically barrels up to the hill. Yeah. Barrels up the hill. He knows where the Dickomax is. The Dickomax is still there. Okay, pop up. Go, side shot on a Dickomax. What I would have done is I would have waited for him to get 70 capture points, get yourself another medal. But anyway, yeah, and he's turning around, and that's GG. Not a bad effort at all. So post-game stats on that one then. And there you have it. Mastery badge on the Hellcat. Earned him a mastery badge, a pools medal, Top Gun, and sniper. Easily one of the best games I've seen on a Hellcat. Despite my criticism. Yeah, don't take the criticism the wrong way. I understand you're probably quite excited the fact you were doing so well. However, you did have me gnashing at my keyboard, and you are so freaking lucky that VK 3002 didn't absolutely destroy you. If you hadn't had artillery there, you'd have been screwed. But anyway, you didn't. It didn't happen. Let's not dwell on it. 112,000 credits, 2,532 experience. Okay, easily top of the tree. He did 3 times. He had 3 times more experience than anybody else on his team. An absolutely cracking display. You know, 20 shots hit, 20 shots fired, 20 hits, 20 penetrations for 3,800 damage. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And he damaged 12 players on the enemy team and killed 10 of them. Yeah, a pools medal in any tank is good. It really is exceptional pools medal. Top Gun and sniper. Yeah, really good effort. So to summarise then. In summary, it's a really good little tank destroyer. Now don't get me wrong, if you get it in the wrong situation or you use it incorrectly, this thing will get spread across the map like paste. It really will. You have to play it to its strengths, but the thing is with this tank, its strengths are really good in the right hands. I'm probably in the near future going to remove my enhanced gun lane drive and possibly replace it with a camouflage net, because to be honest with you, with a 1.7 second aiming time, you really don't need an enhanced gun lane drive. But to be honest, it depends. It depends how I feel. Camouflage, I don't really rate camouflage that well. Thing is, without Sixth Sense, the only time you know you've been seen without Sixth Sense is when something fucking takes a massive chunk out of you. When I get Sixth Sense, I might think about changing to a camo net, but at the moment I use this as a one-shot shoot and scoot type tank at the moment. Very good vehicle. I'd recommend you to get it. If you want to go down the American turreted tank destroyer line, it's not a bad line to go down. So there you have it. Play safe with it, use its strengths, use that awesome gun, and you'll have absolutely beast games in it.
Wake up.
So take care of yourself, and I'll see you next time. That's my TeamSpeak going off, by the way. So take care of yourself, guys, and I will see you all next time. Bye now.